Hello everyone, I'm Eric, Mike's drum tech, and to answer a few questions that everyone asks me a lot, I've been working for Mike for about 2 years now, and I hooked up with him through a friend of mine that I had done a tour in the past with, and basically they needed a drum tech for a few shows in Italy, and I was available, so I came out to do those shows, and everything worked out well, and I'm still here 2 years later. Prior to working for Mike, I've worked for a couple other bands. I've done a lot of shows with actually a number of things in Miami where I live. And I was a drummer as well. I started playing when I was about 3 years old actually, and just not quite serious enough about it. I spent more time cleaning my cymbals and fixing my drums than actually learning how to play them really well. So this works out for me. And I have plenty to work with.
This floor tom can come down a little bit.
But my experience as a drummer has really helped me as a tech. The initial time I sat down at the Siamese Monster, it just felt natural to me. Everything, its placement, like when you work for a drummer, sometimes it's difficult to, if they have weird placements of things, it doesn't feel natural. It's hard to do that every day for them because you don't know where to put it. But with Mike's drum set, the first time I sat down on it, it all just felt like that's where everything should be, and it has been pretty easy to put those kits together and make it right every day. The most important thing working for artists is making them feel comfortable, no matter what's going on during the day. With a live production, there's hundreds of things that can go wrong every day.
You probably have it in place for when I show off the kit, though.
But at the moment that the artist walks into the building and sits down behind his drum set or whatever instrument he has, the most important thing is that he doesn't know that there's anything wrong and everything is perfectly comfortable so that he can perform. Here we have a large mess of stuff because it's been a lot of work in 3 days, and we're using 3 different drum sets on this shoot. And the first one we used is the Albino Monster, which is in parts and pieces laying around here. Second one we used is a studio kit that's actually parts of an older drum set of Mike's. And then the third one, which is in use right now, is the new Tama Mirage kit that they've sent out for this shoot. My role in building the Albino Monster was basically a conversation with Mike in a car listening to the new album, and he just said, I want a white drum set and I want basic main kit of the Siamese Monster on the A side, as we call it, and then the bottom kit on the B side. White's a good color. And it was okay. And from that point, I did all the advanced work on it, calling the different, Tama and Sabian, putting everything together. Sabian sent out all prototypes for the Bonham side that were all made out of the same metals that Bonham used for his cymbals. But anyway, these are cases everything travels in, and we have lots of spare heads to change heads constantly as a spares case with sticks and heads and cables and tables. The most important part of my job is keeping everything working every day and never having anything break. And it can be difficult, especially the way Mike hits things. I usually don't have anybody help me too much because the only way to ensure that I know what's going on with every part is to touch every part and work every nut and bolt on the drum kit. Touch every cymbal, go over everything, because even the smallest crack will turn into a big crack during a show. It's a lot to manage, as you can tell. There's a lot of parts here, and that's a big part of the job, is actually ordering parts and keeping us in heads and keeping extras of everything. We have boxes of spares of almost every part on this drum set. On the new Albino kit, I made it my goal to actually try to utilize only the minimal amount of different, of parts, like as in all these clamps are the same, all the cymbal arms are the same, and all the cymbal arms are the same. On older kits that he's had, there's been a number of different models of arms and models of adapt. It was too many different parts, too many part numbers to order. Daily routine on the Dream Theater tour for me is usually wake up pretty late, because backline guys, when we take the guitar techs, keyboard tech, drum techs, we don't really have to be up too early. With the sound and lights going up first, I usually don't get started on an average day until about 11 in the morning. And it's wheel all my cases in, change heads, maintain anything that was broke from the night before, clean up some cymbals. So it takes some strong cleaners. Usually Sabian spray is a really good thing to take off some light sweat but there's usually some deeper stains. Those need something stronger. Trick liquid metal polish is a good one. Same with the drums. Trick drum polish is one of the best ones out there. I use that every day. It keeps them looking nice and clean. That's, you know, an important thing. I'm taking care of someone else's property. So for me, I would like to return it at the end of a tour and have it look as nice as it was given to me at the beginning. And unless he wants to kick the whole drum set over, any scratches are going to be my fault. So I try to keep it all nice. Once the stage is ready for me, I will start with the rack, put all the rack pieces together, then on goes the hardware. After that, put the kick drums in, toms on, cymbals up. We're pretty much ready for a show. A few minor tweaks. The audio guys come in and mic the whole thing, and we'll do a line check, and then soon after that, band comes in, does their sound check, and we wait for the show to start. During the show, it's nonstop paying attention. There's so much going on. You have to watch everything, and I have a lot of things to do during the show, which is refuel water and Gatorade, mic movements. For every time Mike sings, the mic has to come in and go out. And not to mention things breaking, moving, shifting. It's a lot, and if you're not paying attention for 1 second, that's when something happens. Best part of this job is all the experiences that you have, whether it be a DVD shoot with Mike here up at Allaire Studios, or traveling the world, being in different countries on a daily basis, doing award shows, television shows, having access to something that millions of people only get to watch from one perspective, and you get to see the other side of it, and those experiences are great. This drum set here, I have a theory of how it came about. If you've seen it already, it's just a kick drum, a small floor tom, a timbali, and one snare, and just a few cymbals. I think it's because Mike didn't have a tech. When the drummer has to be his own tech, that's what you get. This here is a very important list. It's kind of a reminder for everybody. We have signals, and so for the monitor engineer during a show, you got to have a number, because you can't just say, you know, holler a guy's name or something. No one could figure that out. So we have hand signals. So 1 is James, and it's either 1 up or 1 down. And the same thing, it's each guy's got a number in the band. And Mike one night had to add an additional factor, and we confused the monitor engineer for most of the show, because both me and Mike would keep doing 6 down, and it just never seemed to go away. I like 6. On any given night, there can be a lot of 6. On the drum riser, we have 4 different set lists on the drum riser, pretty much everywhere that Mike can see, and just placed all over and everywhere. And then we also have one here. This box resides behind the riser for him. You know, we have all kinds of very important, essential things for a rock show, like candy and gum and towels, beverages. I've had enough of this. I'm going home.